Thank you for staying with us. The Health and Allied Workers Indaba trade union has welcomed a court decision to compel government to stop load shedding at all healthcare facilities. The North Gauteng High Court has also ordered government to end the crippling power cuts at schools as well as police stations. Lerato Mthunzi is Haitu General Secretary and joins us now for reaction to this development. Lerato, good to have you on the program this afternoon. Now, as a union, you've said that you relieved that the North Gauteng High Court has indeed ordered that the South African government stop load shedding in critical sectors of the economy. Give us your initial reactions.
Good evening and good evening to your viewers at home. I think our stance from the beginning has always been that load shedding is the worst pandemic than even COVID-19. And we say this because at least with COVID-19, we were able to record the deaths that were caused by this pandemic. With the crisis of load shedding, we've seen people, literally as healthcare workers, dying in our hands because we could not resuscitate them. You'd appreciate that majority of people that are in critical high care, trauma care, and so forth, who depend on oxygen. Really, when there is load shedding and there is no backup, that means for them that they are going to die. And I think the government not, putting a spotlight and declaring this as an emergency, particularly for us, it's something that we had to, really bring and actually not just join the court in the and actually demonstrate and really shout at the top of our voice to actually say this, we are losing people and no one is actually accounting the lives of our people, particularly those who don't have. It looks like it really doesn't matter.
Now, you are part of 18 other applicants who indeed went to the court, including the United Democratic Movement and the National Union of Metal Workers of South Africa, to make this urgent application to the High Court. As a union, why were you compelled to do this? You say that you were fed up with the fact that the government was refusing to intervene in indeed alleviating this crisis in public hospitals and clinics.
For a general citizen, as general civilian, the load shedding hits home. It actually is in your household. But when it actually leaves your home and it's actually at a hospital setting with people that are at the mercy of the government and healthcare workers, the healthcare servants, to actually care for them and save their lives. For us, it was a matter of life and death, and it was something that the union could definitely not ignore. And I think we had to join all this applicant and actually echo the sentiment. And for us, it was more dire because this is not just about a shop running or the economy running. We are talking about a life that we cannot recover.
So you welcome the decision of the High Court to hand down this landmark judgment, which effectively compels the state to exempt all healthcare facilities, including clinics and hospitals. But as we discussed with a lawyer earlier on, as to how will this ruling indeed be implemented, some say it might be a bit tricky.
Look, I think the government has been hell-bent on actually reneging on their responsibility, which is entrenched in the Constitution, which is that of ensuring that the right to life is upheld. And I think the 60 days, they might cry foul and say it's too short, but every minute for us, a day literally means a genocide. I mean, we've actually said, if we are to zoom in as a nation, if we're really, journalists and everybody, researchers were to zoom in into the impact of load shedding, we'll find that it's worse than any other genocide that any other country has actually experienced. And I'd like to think 60 days is extremely generous. The president of our country has come out on media to say it's not his responsibility, he cannot be held accountable for that. And we think it's totally nonsense that he must actually be taking the stand. We feel that 60 days is sufficient. They've got a Minister of Energy, they've got a Minister of Electricity. Healthcare particularly must be prioritized, and all hospitals and all clinics must be exempted, and there must be plans in place. Because I can tell you, look at the hub of healthcare, how they would have a few hospitals out of the 39 having backup UPS and generators. And for us, that is totally acceptable.
And you've started explaining the effects that load shedding has, especially on these critical institutions. I mean, when load shedding happens, it means that patients who cannot breathe on their own must be resuscitated manually because ventilators do not work. I mean, give us just like a better idea of the extent of the problem here.
Look, I think every time when we speak on all platforms, we always say there is gross shortage of staff, there's gross shortage of material resources, the infrastructure is not even supported. We are really giving our people a substandard care. So if a life in a day of healthcare worker, it means that once there is load shedding, those who cannot breathe on their own, and we all know anatomically and physiologically, the brain can only sustain itself without oxygen if it's dependent on it for less than 3 minutes. So we are sending a lot of people to not just to vegetative stage, to be brain damaged, to not be able to, survive, even if they physically survive, but psychologically and mentally they can't continue to function, even if they were to continue living after this ordeal. But actually, you are actually sending all your healthcare workers into a total breakdown because you're expecting them to go to work every day and be accomplice of murder. It might sound like I'm being dramatic, but that's basically what you are. You're watching people dying, people that ordinarily on a normal day you could save, on top of the problem that healthcare system is actually experiencing currently.
That was Haitu's Lerato Mthunzi, of course, speaking to us there about the impact that load shedding has on hospitals and schools as well, and indeed welcoming the recent court judgment.